Welcome to the Could Be Better podcast brought to you by Old Mother Brewing Company. I am Colin McGuire.
And I'm Chris Perry. That was the most professional introduction I've ever heard you do.
I've been practicing. Colin, I am having a great day.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't hear from you much anymore.
Yeah, it's called having a sick kid's no fun.
Well, you just revealed that the last time out. You didn't do that personally. You did that on air.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to get your reaction, and I think I got exactly what I was wanting. I'm not going to make that a habit because that'd be kind of fucked up. Be like, hey, man, I'm moving to West Coast Zach's house.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that.
Yeah, it was a little
like that.
It's like I was trying to soften the blow.
It didn't. If you would have told me that Wes was sick at a Baltimore Orioles game,
And he was still there,
I would have hopped in the party Prius.
we would have gone to Baltimore and made a party.
I would have pushed my way into Camden Yards if the Prius made it there, and I would by myself bring him back to good health.
Yeah, I know. It's that you and the ghost of Buck Showalter, you know?
Well, he's not here anymore.
That's why I said the ghost.
Yeah.
But he's living his best life in New York, you know what I'm saying?
They're sliding, though. By the time, I hate to say that because everybody right now, by the time this comes out, it's going to be different. Like the Yankees will be better. The Mets will probably be better.
We can hope the Yankees won't be better.
Well,
we
could be better.
Speaking of things that could be better, not Old Mother Brewing Company because they are the best. Callisto is back.
Fair.
It's our delicious oatmeal stout with almost double the amount of oats is back, and you can stop in anytime and grab a pint and a 4-pack to go. It is a good time to be at Old Mother. Colin, when you went last, you obviously only go on Wednesdays because points.
That's right.
That's
very true.
I had a question for you, actually. If you could be a developer, would you develop an Old Mother app so you could just swim in the points?
That would be amazing, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I think we need to anybody that's interested in an app from Old Mother should find them on Instagram and tell them you want an app and tell them Could Be Better sent you.
And they're just going to be pissed off about it. This comes after having a good graces meeting with them.
Oh, we had an amazing
no less
meeting
than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was the best.
Although we did bring pizza, which is the best pizza in town. And we don't get pizza anymore. We used to get pizza.
No, we used to get pizza. Well, it's because you also had to start working in DC, and I had to start working
in Alexandria.
I know, yeah. Which I still haven't been. Hopefully, by the time this tapes, I've been in the office once, but we'll see.
But we'll see. It's either that or no job. It's one or the other.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
So I guess I did want to say this. I wanted to talk about this. We'll talk about this and we'll get our guests on because I know everybody wants to move quickly. I bought an umbrella.
Like one that fits in your coat pocket?
No, and I'm upset about this. And I'll tell you why. I woke up. Have you ever stepped outside your place of residence in the 4 a.m. hour, and it's pouring down rain, and all you have to do is walk or figure out a way to get essentially a block and a half, what amounts to a block and a half, even though your backyard might be it's still that far away, to a train station.
Sounds like hyper-specific here, but okay.
And then, no, it's not. I haven't lived this. I've never lived this. And then you're either going to miss your train or
you'll be soaking wet.
You're going to be soaking wet.
Yep.
Which, have you ever done that before?
No, I have this thing called a rain jacket.
Well, I didn't. So
you're saying you got wet in the train?
I walked outside and stood under the stoop in my house, which is not
the Could Be Better Studios.
Exactly. And it's up a creek and to the left. And I stepped out at about 4:25, and I thought, well, I'll just wait here. The rain's going to settle down. I waited 20 minutes. It did not settle down.
It's a long time.
I heard the train whistle, and I sprinted, and I got to the train, and I was so soaking wet that my clothes, my hair, my glasses were dripping when I got onto the train, and then I had to go to work.
Wow.
From there. So then I got to Union Station. They have a Walgreens in there, and I said, I'm going to buy an umbrella because I don't own an umbrella, and this would be the smart thing to do, correct?
I mean, you can get a rain poncho.
Well, They didn't have those.
Okay.
So at the Walgreens in Union Station, I found an umbrella for sale. Do you want to take a shot?
At how much?
At how much that was?
$24.99.
No.
God, $17.99.
No, actually, the irony of the story, the surprise of the story, was that between that and a bottle of a diet beverage, it was $11.
That's not bad.
Well, here's where it gets bad. I walk outside because it's about 5 blocks in downtown DC.
It's still raining.
It's still raining. To now I'm in DC. I'm not in Frederick. I'm in DC. And it's about 5-6 blocks to my office, and the Capitol is over here, and Judiciary Square is over here, and all of that stuff. And I step out. I try to put the umbrella up, and it's windy. You know what happens.
Oh, I've seen this commercial before. Yeah.
The wind completely takes this brand new umbrella by storm and turns it inside out. And then I
continue to get
left.
wet.
Yes.
So you just like worked all day in wet clothes?
I did. And then I got angry. I literally got angry at every single person I've ever known in my life. I went down the list. All of the grievances I've ever had.
And you're airing them all out. Yeah. Not even Festivus.
Head, I'm thinking, this is why this happened. You know, if Chris just didn't want to record on.
Yeah.
And, so.
You sit in your desk chair just soaking wet?
I did. The umbrella's right there hanging, by the way.
You didn't throw it away?
No.
Well, of course not.
Why would I?
Do
I throw anything
away?
Yeah,
I was about to say, like, of course not. We just had a conversation about keeping your ticket stubs. But it's like, what are you going to do? Put it in the umbrella, like, Hall of Shame?
Well, yeah. Population 1, I guess. I don't have any umbrellas.
Got to start somewhere.
So I'm never going to buy another umbrella. It's all nonsense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fans, listeners, Patreon subscribers, friends of the show, send us your money. We'll use this to buy not just. And I will make a promise. I don't make very many promises because I think promises are dumb.
You promised me you'd love your shirt I got you for your birthday.
And we didn't get to talk about that in the last episode. But yeah, you got me a wonderful Good Charlotte Young and Hopeless shirt, which is a 2X, too long, too tall tee. So I'm going to use it to play ball in.
Because the shirt you got me for my birthday was 25X.
Bro, you told me to get that size, so I did.
You know you're getting me a shirt. I didn't tell you anything.
No, I asked you. I said, what size shirt do you wear? I said, I'm getting you something. And you're like, I'm wearing, you said XL. And so I got you a fucking XL. But it's a hardcore. It was
more than XL.
It's a hardcore band XL. It's totally different. They use like Gildan Super Tough.
It's a much cooler shirt than the one I got you.
But, well, yours is funny because it's a jab, and mine is thoughtful.
I didn't think it was a jab. You didn't fucking like being in that Good Charlotte cover band that never existed.
I loved every second of it.
We're going to get to our guest. I know he's here, right?
But I have one more thing.
What's that?
So you were talking about umbrellas and talking about things, and I was giving people a promise. It could be better promise. And that could be better promise that I will stand on if I am elected into office. I'm doing the Obama thumb point here.
You are a fucking politician.
If we do get money, and I'm not going to put it
for the umbrella?
No. Oh. If we do get money from people listening to this and then acting, not just acting with their wallets, but acting with their hearts and their conscience, I will make sure that you get not just the most obnoxious rain jacket, but the Gorton's yellow rain jacket.
I would gladly wear that.
And I will make sure that somehow comes into your arsenal, because I think that would be amazing.
I would love that. I'd wear it to bed too.
God, honestly, if we don't have like a Could Be Better diaries with this, or like a Could Be Better live journal,
we're gonna have.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we're gonna have everything. Yeah, nobody's safe.
But I will say this too, because I specifically did not wear a pair of shoes that I knew had holes in them, and instead I wore what I thought were brand new Chuck Taylors, and it turned out there was a divide between the sole of the Chuck Taylors. And and the rest of the shoe, and my entire foot was.
I do like that how you have a time where you choose to wear shoes with holes in them. Speaking of shoes with holes in them, we have our guest Ryan Nicholson here, and I am so excited.
So excited, Ryan!
Hi, Ryan, and it's gonna be awesome. I hope he bursts through right now like Kramer. That'd be amazing. It's ready now. But this is going to be fun because we have known Ryan for a long time, and Ryan is of Heavy Lights fame, of Frederick notoriety, of Frederick Coffee Shop frequents. So it should be a good time. Are those uneven, Mr.?
Yeah.
Gee, that was like the most OCD thing I've ever seen you do. For people that aren't tuning into the live stream, Colin's straightening his freaking ticket stubs here. Like
Train tickets.
Gosh, that he's never going to throw away. Anyway, speaking of never throwing anything away, we have so many shows to announce coming up here at Old Mother before we get into this amazing interview with Ryan. Starting with, we have a show, and it's tomorrow. It's Friday, and I'm stalling because I'm scrolling and I was going the wrong way. So we have Friday, September 23rd, is at Old Mother Brewing Company, obviously from 7 to 9 p.m., or 7 to 9:30ish, whatever. It's like, you know what it is. But it's Recreation, who just played at Sky Stage a couple weeks ago with our friends in Geneva and Demude. Isaac Leo, don't know who that is, but I think he's cool. And then we have our friend and your lover, Zutu.
Yeah, well, I do love Tad. We love Tad.
Go
see Tad.
Yeah, go see Tad. So Tad's opening
I'm
up.
gonna text him right now.
Yeah, I should do it. Tad, we're pushing this show. So September 23rd at Old Mother, again, starts at 7 p.m. Tad starts at 7, so get there right on time. The next night we have at Old Mother, we're not tearing anything down.
Wait a second.
Oh, wait, Ryan.
Before we go to Old Mother that day, the next day, where are we?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, so earlier on in the day, man, guys, there's so much going on. So
you can see the live podcast taping.
So listen, so Friday night, Old Mother, obviously going to be there, obviously going to have a ton of times, ton of friends, ton of fun times, and Colin's going to be there, raging. He knows every single Zutu song. He's actually going to be playing the bongos with Sully. It's going to be freaking great. So again, September 23rd, Old Mother, Recreation, Isaac, Leo, and Zutu.
You're talking about Out 40. Oh.
The next morning is we're going to be at Out 40 Fest, recording a live podcast at the Fredericktown Mall. Now, there's a 50-50 chance, because Colin wanted to talk about this, that it actually may not happen because of logistics with moving locations. But either way, in spirit, Kiki wanted us to do a live podcast because she thought it would be fun, and we said, okay. And so we will be there in spirit if we can't be there in person.
We're gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean we'll be there anyway. We got to see you got to see your boy, your your guy.
It's a lot of
no.
Guys.
It's the person you favor.
We're cool. Is
Bro,
that what you're saying?
If there's anybody else, yeah.
By the way, we got to FaceTime him
tonight.
Yeah, that's what he said.
All right, whatever. All right, we'll talk.
Yeah, so speed the shit up.
Okay. And then we have so right after that we do the live podcast. Then we run back to Old Mother because obviously we go to all of our shows. We have Bliss House, Sugar Hysteria from Baltimore, and then Gatwick, and they're going to be here. And actually, I'm doing sound, so I will actually definitely be there. So that'll be a good time. So come buy me a drink and tell me you hate this podcast and stuff. That's gonna be cool.
Come buy me a drink. He
says. Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. I'm doing the Lord's work. Then the next week we have Ben Jardelza's
Hardaliza,
40th birthday.
It's Hardaliza.
He turns 40.
Crooked Hills.
40 years old. He's so old. So he turns 40, and it's Crooked Hills, it's Asthma Castle, and a band called Amantia, which kind of sounds like Armantia, but it's not. But anyway, that's going to be also a good time. But then it's also crazy because then the next night, because we are not going to be taping in between when this comes out, we got Ace of Weeks and Friends the next night. So it's back-to-back weekends. It's just we can't stop, won't stop. Are you stoked?
I'm so stoked.
I'm so tired.
I see.
I'm so tired already. Gosh. So anyway, all of it is on it's on our Instagram. It's on our website. Guys, we have a YouTube channel. We have all this stuff. We have
we have an OnlyFans.
We have an OnlyFans. We have a PayPal thing you can send us money to. And speaking of money, Ryan Nicholson from Heavy Lights. New Life Christian School. What's up? Ryan Nicholson.
I was going to come in hot, but you came in hot.
Well, I mean, I was thinking it would be funny.
No, Ryan Nicholson. This
Hello.
I am so thrilled that you're here. I'm sorry. I hope you're thrilled to be here.
I can honestly say that
you got to eat the mic, dude.
I can honestly say that I've been greatly looking forward to this because, I mean, I've known both of you.
I guess you knew Chris longer.
I did. Chris was an attendee of New Life Christian School's famed praise and worship band.
707, baby.
We were incredible. And that's actually really, I'll be honest, and I think you could say the same about a lot of musicians, Chris included, is that a lot of us got our chops playing
at church,
in church, because you have to you practice more frequently than you might with your regular bands, especially at that age, and your parents support it.
Yeah.
You
want a new amp? Oh, well, we'll get you this because it's for church.
Yeah,
it's like,
whoa, I'm
cool.
doing the Lord's work out
That's
here.
Right. That's right.
And I'm gonna need a Fender P bass, Dad. And so yeah, he would be in the audience because you're what, 8 years younger than me? You're 30.
31. So
okay.
yes, born 91.
So almost 8 years younger, 30 or 7 years younger than me. And you were like a young kid.
Oh, dude,
out there.
I was crazy. It was I was 6th grade.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I remember there was the stage in the farmhouse that was turned into the thing. So the cool thing at this point in time, and you'll have to tell me, because I remember there was several people that dyed their hair black at that point.
Oh yeah,
and that was the thing. And it was Further Seems Forever was like the tits. And I think
still are.
Yes,
that's very true.
Yeah,
hey now,
dude, The Moon Is Down is.
That's the record.
That's a great record.
Yeah.
But Chris Carrabba he peaked.
He never got better. He never got better.
He peaked right there.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, Jason Gleason might be my favorite one.
So let's be honest. How to Start a Fire
yes.
is arguably a better album in the sense of just cohesiveness, song start to finish. But
the nostalgia of Chris Carrabba doing it.
It's like saying, okay, well, How to Start a Fire is their best album, but my favorite album is The Moon Is Down.
I can get that.
You know what I mean?
I can get that.
So
I completely line up with you on that.
Yeah.
By the way,
so Further Seems Forever was big. Number One Gun was big. Who else was really big at that time?
Well, for me, Pedro the Lion. I'm upset.
Everybody in that era loved Pedro the Lion.
Well, I owe David Bazan. So I wouldn't call myself a non-believer these days, but he definitely was a huge influence in me with helping me feel comfortable with questioning my thoughts around Christianity. Mm-hmm. And then when I left home and was like kind of free, on the other side of the world to think for myself, it was just like, man, it's so good to not feel alone.
Yeah.
And Headphones was released when I was in boot camp. And that was, again, freshman when Kid A came out. So anytime that you start to influence or add synthesizers into what is traditionally like rock or indie music, whatever, highly skeptical.
Yes.
Because there's only one band that did it to that extent, and they're called God. I mean, sorry, Radiohead.
That's
and
right.
No secret, favorite band. So yeah, man, like Bazan was big, huge for me. But Norma Jean's "Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child." Can we talk about heavy music for a second?
So that record still holds up.
100%.
Still holds up. And what's also crazy, Norma Jean's still playing. Different lineup. So it's the guy, Corey Brandon. After that record, he's still been in it. It's him and the other, I think, guitar player. And their stuff's still good.
Dude.
And it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, so I've drifted from heavy music, but I was just talking with Genevieve out there that, Comeback Kid turning around. I'm down.
And Comeback Kid's like...
Comeback Kid.
Comeback Kid.
Dude,
I love Christian hardcore music. It threw down harder than anything else.
What about Emery then? Never got into them.
That was... So I was like a Cornerstone Music Festival kid.
Yeah.
That would be like us dyeing our hair black and Kenny King just, picking up change in the middle of a pit.
Dude, that's right. Just throwing it, dude. It was the best.
Dude, you just sit out there, just throw coins, and he just scooping them up,
Dude, shout out to Kill Pocket.
Shout out to Kill Pocket. Oh, my God.
Dude, I have that record still. I remember Kelsey gave it to me, and
I recorded that record.
That's amazing.
I recorded that record.
So Kill Pocket was a hardcore band that they started at New Life, and it was like a big thing. Because I think they played one show at the gym.
Yeah, Kelsey Green, Josh Knight, Kenny King, Brandon Robold.
Dude, Brandon of Nashville fame now.
Of national fame.
Dude, he's...
And, only one bass player in my life supersedes it, and that's the Brian Weakley.
I was going to say it's got to be Brian. It has to be Brian.
That's ride or die. That's my...
Yeah, that's the dude, right?
Yeah,
that's the dude.
We're gonna get to the heavy lights, boys.
Well, we're coming up on the first music break already.
Really?
I know.
So we'll go ahead, Chris.
No, but so like that time frame. It's funny you brought up David Bazan because like I'm a late bloomer with him. 100%. Yeah. So it wasn't until the last two that came out that like I went back.
Pedro albums or David?
Yeah.
Albums?
So Pedro came out with
Control and then Achilles were the last two.
Yeah, but then he's come out with two more since then.
Oh, yeah. He came out with
I'm looking it up.
The one that had like Model Homes and Yellow Bike and
dude, that whatever that record is, I'm finding here it is scrolling. So Phoenix was 2019.
Phoenix, that's right.
Then Have a Saw whatever is 2022. Both those came out.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Dude, it's great.
Okay,
it's great. So he's doing that thing where he's going back and like now documenting his younger years. So it's like he's already kind of done his stuff from developing through. And so I loved that Yellow Bike record and the Circle K song, like just
Circle K. I've spent it all.
Dude, but anyway,
we got to eventually
break here. Sorry,
so we're talking about
right. Let me at least get to this so we can bridge our way into the first music break when that comes.
Yes.
I love listening to you guys geek out for 105 minutes, but with that said, you ultimately became a musician.
I did.
And everything that we're talking about, what would you say, how does that relate and inspire you? How did that lead you to that place?
That's a great question. Ever the journalist.
That's right.
So speaking on all that, so I only ever learned to play an instrument to write songs.
And which instrument was that, piano or guitar?
I learned guitar first.
Okay.
I was a late bloomer on piano. In fact, all three of the songs that we're going to play tonight are me on piano.
Okay.
I'm not that good. I'll be honest. But serviceable.
Sure.
But yeah, I started on guitar. I was 10 years old. And really, again, it was more self-taught. It was more about like trying to convey thoughts and feelings because of a tumultuous childhood. Things in my world that I couldn't necessarily process without being like, come on, what the hell? Religion being a huge part of it. So when we talk about Bazan, Bazan is notorious for having been like ultra devout religion to all of a sudden like this evolved version of a God believer without the theocracy and a true questioner of it. And so, I got a guitar to write songs. Never cared to be a shredder. Still aren't. You'll never find a song where I just rip. It's more about like, how does this part fit into the song?
Yeah.
Or how can I pretend that I can rip so like people think I'm cool?
That's right.
And so, and then I think it was for like, it was like 14th or 15th birthday. My dad, though he's super supportive, I have a great dad. I don't want to throw him under the bus. But as like a young person, I don't think he got that like music was a serious venture for me. I looked at it like, this is something I want to be a part of my identity. I think he just looked at it as like, this is something that distracts from you being a better baseball player or a better student. And he was totally right. But yeah, I convinced him to get me as a gift one of those blue Tascam 4-track Porta Studio Mark IIs, with the 4-channel inputs and a microphone.
I had the same thing. I did.
Yeah.
Never figured out how to use it either.
Oh, dude, I did. And let me tell you, it opened up a world of catharsis. I could hit play. Whatever girl didn't like me, well, I need to let her know how much I like her. And I got 3.5 minutes on this side A to do it. Yes. And I got 4 tracks to just really bring it home,
Yeah.
And I did, I would write songs about that. And then as I grew in life, it became, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole on this experience, but when I joined the military and went overseas and experienced that, a lot of turmoil in that experience, a lot of conflict, and a lot of really highs and super lows, and so like, what do you do when you're in the middle of Iraq and trying to like piece together this experience? Well, you write a song about it. Yeah. And so it just evolved, and then I finally I played in bands throughout high school, but was never really the front man for one. And then when I came home from the service, Chris and I started a band called Old Liners.
That's the perfect segue, because when we come back, I'm going to bring us back in because I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Set up this first song. Now, which one do you want to hear first?
Let's do Better Worlds first.
Better Worlds?
Yeah, so setting this up. So this is an interesting one because this began actually as something I started as like a solo venture.
Okay.
In the middle of Heavy Lights. Chris and Brian were always helping Mike out on tour with the Cotton Jones stuff.
Yeah.
Derek, I think Derek's in like 3,627 bands.
At least.
At the time.
But they're all good,
maybe,
dude.
It was maybe
They're
like
all
4
good.
less than that.
Sure.
No, I kid. And he was, Derek was doing his recording thing, and so I always felt like, man, I was like, these guys got this other thing going on. Maybe I should have something else going on.
Yeah.
And so I recorded like a string of songs, this one being one of them. And I remember on our tour down to South by in 2015, I was like, let me play this for you guys. That. And then they were like, this should just become a Heavy Light song. and they were totally right. Like I think the concept of it was spot on, but Brian and Chris especially picked up on what I was trying to do, and they just made the rhythm section bring the song to life. Derek was like, I love this. I'll play whatever you want me to play.
Sure.
Derek is the best.
Derek. Oh, we're gonna talk about my boys.
That's what I'm saying.
So
this song again. Give him the name just one more time.
This song is unreleased. This is the first time it will be put out into the world. This was recorded. This is recorded by Kenny Eaton at Mystery Ton Studios in 2016, and kick it. Lips and teeth are no match for the sounds on the tip of my tongue. String light from my brain to my mouth. Somebody stop me, 'cause I've been talking too much. Skull and skin are no barrier for the thoughts that mix in my mind. Broadcast for the world to know. Somebody stop me, 'cause I've been thinking too much. Which I'm sure is really nowhere at all. But it's a place where all is free. And here is where I dreamed up my better world. Please tell me I'm not somebody help me, I'm not moving fast enough. And now my thoughts are going somewhere which I'm sure is really nowhere at all. But it's a place where all is free. And here is where I dreamed up my better world. Please tell me I'm not crazy. But my thoughts are going somewhere which I'm sure is really nowhere at all. But it's a place where all is free. And here is where I dreamed up my better world. Please tell me I'm not crazy.
that song was so good. Like, I've never heard a song since like 2016 since that sounded that good.
It's since 2016, so this is kind of like your guys like VH1 behind the music.
Dude, this is behind the music.
We're
inside the music.
Am I your first like fully retired act that you're having on here?
You are not fucking retired.
You're not retired.
I mean, I am kind of retired.
Well,
so am I.
But who knows? Who knows? You know, if I recall when
Chris
Fleetwood Mac did their VH1, next thing they came out with was The Dance, and that shit ruled.
yes. And the last time I think somebody that was a major football star retired, I think he came back pretty quick. So
We don't talk about Tom Brady, go Ravens.
Colin, you have questions.
I do have a question. I have a question because I sprung this on Kenny when he was here. I think you told me you listened to the
Eaton or Kenny Tompkins?
No, Kenny Tompkins.
Okay.
I think
Kenny.
I do too.
And
I
Kenny
do too.
Eaton. I love both of those men.
We love all
But
Kenny.
they're wonderful.
I think you had said, or he had told me, or maybe you had told me that you had heard that episode, the one with Mr. Husband, the one with Kenny Tompkins. And I sprung this on Kenny, and then after this, and I brought this up on the last thing we just taped an hour or two ago. Mm-hmm. Kenny came over for a day. Like this was a few weeks ago, and we took a walk with his dog, and then the dog got tired. We had to take the dog home. So then we kept walking, and then we needed water because we're just old people and we needed to get through it. And I talked to him so much about this. On that episode, I said, Chris Morris is my favorite drummer. Chris Morris is the best drummer in Frederick. And when I said that, Kenny was like, what? I don't know. He wasn't like that. That was a bad impression.
I believe what you said, and I can put you to the tape. You
okay,
said,
here we go.
I think Chris is one of my favorite drummers in Frederick. I said, and I said, really? And you said, yeah, top three. I said, who are the other three? And then you just said
Colin McGuire.
Yeah, he said, yeah. And then we said Colin McGuire, Colin Schultzberger, and then Chris. And I was like, damn, dude, what a piece of shit. So anyway, at that point though, does that still hold? Chris is still the top?
I don't think that is what happened, but I did.
It's on tape.
We had a very long conversation about this. So we did. Kenny and I privately had a very private conversation about this. My end game with it, my only thing that I can bring to this now on the record in front of the world is to say I still believe that, and I really think Chris is that amazing. Now I ask you, because he was the drummer of Heavy Lights, or is the drummer of Heavy Lights.
And Old Liners.
Like, you've worked with him forever.
I met Chris when I was 16 years old.
You don't know the amount of respect I have for Chris. Like, the amount of respect I have for Chris as a drummer,
a part of me wants to talk mad shit and be like, Chris wasn't even the best drummer.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
no.
Beatles. You're fucking John Lennon now.
I know. I'm just joking. All right. So,
where'd you meet Chris, though?
Okay, so I want to go on record, and in the spirit of the pro wrestling theme in the room outside.
That's right.
I'm going to call you both out to the mats here. I think Chris Morris deserves his own appearance on your podcast.
Whoa.
I'm way into
because
that. I'm way into that.
That man is.
I will text him tomorrow.
100%.
If Chris is okay with that, it'd be drum heavy, but I'd be very happy to do that.
You need a drum heavy person, because the last time you got someone on with drums, we didn't talk about drums at all.
Chris has been in some of the most, critical bands in the area since he was a teenager. And he's got so much real experience as a musician, having lived the professional musician's life for years. And again, he knows
the room. He knows what to play.
So
that's
you asked me, how do I know Chris? Then we'll get to what I think about Chris as a drummer.
Sure.
So I was hired, if you will, by to essentially beat him up. When we were teenagers, because some guys I was in a band with at the time had recorded Chris and his band. Yeah. And I guess there was like some equipment left, and they needed to do an exchange. But Chris and his band were not happy with the recording, so like, listen, I think it's like we shouldn't pay you. This is garbage.
Who was that?
We're not gonna go there. So anyways, it wasn't you. Sit down. No. And so what it ended up happening was, on the way there, they played me these recordings, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. and so I get there, and I'm like, these guys aren't even like, I like, no shit. The guys are like, these kids are from the wrong side of the tracks, kind of feeling. I get there, I'm like, these kids are from fucking Middletown, wrong side of the tracks. What are you talking about? But all of them, were cool.
Yeah,
they were super cool. And then, so I ended up emailing them through like, I don't know, Reverb or whatever was the thing in
MySpace.
Reverb
Nation.
Yeah, I don't know. This was like 2002.
Shit.
This is like pretty early internet. But I emailed them through and I was like, hey, you guys songs rock, but like your singer's not that great. Like, you guys need a singer. And they wrote back and they're like, we're actually very happy with our singer. I was like, all right. Okay, got it. Understood.
That was like the email I got from you and I said, Heavy Lights, do you have a drummer? That's the same thing.
You're like, well, we can talk. No, I'm kidding. So what ended up happening was, but I'd sent them a bunch of songs that I'd recorded, and Greg Tracy, the lead singer of that band, and Chris ended up coming to Day for Ashley where I was performing. And we're like, just, hey, man, what's up? And it's like, you ever want to come over and play music? Like, maybe we'll start something on the side. And I was like, I'm in. Like, let's do it. Yeah. And then, and that was 20-some years ago. And through so much life, and so many moments. I mean, I don't have.
You fell in love with Chris then.
Well,
you
man.
Did.
So check it out. That man is a brother to me on every level. In that, I've lived with him for years of my life. I married he and his wife.
That's what I knew that. Yeah.
I currently work with him in our professional careers.
Is he working?
Yeah, he and I
didn't
know
know that.
Yeah, he and I.
He's a phenomenal chef, though. What the fuck are you doing?
But that's the thing, man. So Chris is a drummer.
Phenomenal drummer.
Oh, dude, Chris is one of the greatest people you could ever make music with, because even when you I've brought to him so many ideas that were either fully completed songs or songs that were just like, hey, this is where I'm at with it. I want to take it to this point. And
he knows the song.
And he knows the song.
He knows the song.
That's the song.
That's the thing.
And
nobody else knows that, right?
But he's also so capable of, and if let's say he knows the song, but you're like, man, this is really where I was at with it. And the song we just listened to is a wonderful example. I was like, this song has to have this feel, and he was like, just sit back, let me do this, and when we're done, we'll go from there.
That's what I'm saying, because he knows music, right? Yeah. Chris, you've been in drummers. You've been in bands with people like that, right? Sure. Like when you connect with somebody in that way, that's it.
But to be honest, I've never been in a band with somebody like that.
Okay. So you're telling me no. Okay.
I just called everyone out you've ever been in a band.
I know, it's crazy. No,
but I'm over here like, Chris is great. He's the best. I love him to death. He's like, I've never loved any of my band members. They were means to an end.
Well, I mean, let's be real. But I mean, with that though, it's like,
we just cheers.
It's big cheers. It's big trust.
Exactly. And again, I guess, Chris. Again, it's been so fortunate that I was in a band with my brother. Sure. In so many ways, and to this day, I mean, I was with Chris for a couple hours today. Now life is taking us in. What's that?
Do you guys write songs?
Business plans.
We I mean, the way we've written songs over the years has always varied. I mean, sometimes I would come in with like, I got a completed song. How do you want to do it? Other times I would have like these like parts and be like, what do we do here? Like, this is cool. And he would be like, what about like, if we did that? Chris would help arrange songs all the time. And, and there'd be times where I would just like riff on something. And he'd be like, what was that? Mm-hmm. I'd be like, let's take this to its logical conclusion. Let's see where this goes.
The value of a drummer
who knows music,
right?
Who knows songcraft,
right?
It's not the same as like a guy who comes in and plays drums, or like just wants to be like, can I put a double kick pedal right here? Mm-hmm. And you're like, no. As a matter of fact, don't.
Yeah. And not even just that, but it's like, it's even with the level of like, not somebody that can just talk about music and talk pot talk, right? But the idea of like, hey, like I'm listening to the song of what's there, and I can see where this could go, and then they're willing to kind of make it work, not just like, oh, hey, I can make the most complicated part that makes you look like a good drummer.
Absolutely, and he the best part about him, and like some people are gonna be like, that's not a good thing, is he's ultra critical of himself, but he can be even more ultra critical of his band members. No, and listen, I'm not saying that as a negative,
right?
Because you only get good being honest with each other, and you only get great being brutally honest with each other. And there'd be times where after a show he'd be like, hey, you got to shape that up. Or
was he the only one that did that?
No. I feel like Brian, Chris, and I, because Derek, everyone knows Derek is the sweetest man on the planet.
He is so sweet.
But Derek knows how to stand his ground. Derek knows how to pick his battles. Don't ever think that Derek is like some pushover, because he's not. Derek just had a much more subtle and beautiful way of being like, hey, you know I love you. And I think you're extremely talented. But you got to do better than that, man. And Brian, I mean, we'll get to Brian. Brian's a whole nother conversation. But ultimately with Chris, it's hard. I think one of the reasons I haven't continued playing music is because I had such a good thing with those guys in particular.
Man. That's the truth, though. That's the truth. I don't know why you're pointing at me, but we do have to go to the next music break here real quick. No, wait. Before that happens, though, I want to put a period on everything that you said. Not that I was in that, and I know that music is a singular thing.
Sure.
The experience that you had was the experience that you had, and nobody else can speak on it. But I can speak on the fact that I have so much admiration for Chris, which we've talked about over and over again. And I can imagine how comforting that is to know you have that sort of musical soulmate in a way.
100%. He's never written a part that I didn't like. He's never recorded a part that I thought he needed to do better. Yeah. He's never given me advice or criticized a part or made a suggestion that didn't land. And maybe I didn't always do what he wanted.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
But I always listened to what he was asking.
Yeah. But it's almost kind of like a letter to a lost lover a little bit, because like you're not actively playing music now. And I think that's what's so tough, because it's like not only are you working together, you're doing all these things together, but it's almost like you're doing that, remembering what once was, but then also knowing like it's a lot of effort.
The potential though, right?
Sure. So one part of it I think is, at one point in our life, we worked at the same place together. We lived in the same house together. Mm-hmm. We played in a band together that was, really pushing, and our girlfriends lived together. Oh. So we had little to no space from each other, and like any family member, like love them all the time, but you can get into a point where you're like, I don't need nor want to see you, but wait, I got to get in a van with you for the next 6 days.
That's right.
Like, no. That's, again, love you, buddy. Can't wait to hear it. Everyone knows. And again, I'm going to say it again. He deserves his own podcast.
Yes. So we'll make that happen. Chris, find us, couldbebetterman.com, and just shoot us an email.
Colin McGuire at colinmcguire.colin.org. What's the song you want to hear next?
All right, so the next one we're going to do, I actually wrote upon learning I was going to be an uncle for the first time.
Oh, that's so good, dude. Yeah. I found that out too at a very special point in my life, so I'm
and it's a powerful moment when anyone close to you had, but this was like the first time any of my siblings had children, and so it was like this, man, how can I write like an advice song, if you will, have fun with it, but also like speak some truth, because like if you listen to the lyrics, some of it's like, check it out, man, you can get stabbed out there. It's a tough world. Be prepared for ugliness, but also like, don't be afraid of it. Have fun. And so this is probably one of the most rockin' and fun heavy light songs that we did. This one's called My Uncle Told Me. Open your mouth and you're risking your words as the sounds grow out. Whisper, shout, whisper. Open your mind.
Uncle Ryan. They call it Uncle Rye Guy?
That's right. They call me a lot of things. I actually just came from seeing all now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Find a new hobby, guys.
Yeah, hey, keep them coming. Takes pressure off of me.
Man, listen,
that was
isn't
a
that
hell
right?
of a statement.
Yeah, so you 4?
No, I have, so my sister has 3, my youngest brother has 1, and then my oldest sibling has 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
So you're the super fun uncle.
Yes and no. I mean, for the 3 boys or the 4 boys, I probably am a little more like teaching them how to like punch something correctly so they don't like, hurt themselves.
That sounds about right.
I
Like
kind of let them go
at 200
well,
East.
I grew up
Oh,
one
did
of
I say that? I'm
one
sorry.
of 4 boys, and so roughhousing was incredibly important.
Yes.
Especially as I got older, obviously through the military and but like knowing what it's like to get hit in the face is a very good lesson to have young. I'm not saying don't hit your children, but if you got
let
siblings,
your children hit your children.
let
That's
them
what I'm
go,
saying. Yeah, yeah.
especially young boys. It was incredibly powerful for me because then like I didn't have a fear of other people growing up, and I see some people who maybe didn't have that experience, and no shade. I'm not saying go get hit, but there was definitely a impactful experience I gained from that, and so to see now I have these 4, one of them's still like 1.5 years old, so
sure
we're gonna hold him out of the fight for
yeah.
but the oldest one's 7 and the next one after that is 5, and they just tear the hell out of each other. But you're looking at it and you're like, man, we might have definitely come from monkeys. Like, it's like this checks out now, just seeing the way that they throw each other around, and it's to me, it's very nostalgic to how my brothers and I grew up.
Yeah. You the youngest of 4?
No, I'm the second oldest of 6.
Dang.
I have an older brother, Sean, who was always been significantly larger than me. And then I have a brother, Andy, who's about my age, who's my best friend in the whole wide world. And then I have another younger brother, Joshy, who's also like Thor. And though the sweetest of us, the toughest. And then I have my sister Jessie, who's like our matriarch. She's really like the guide, the guiding light. And then I have my kid sister Jamie, who's closer to your age.
Sure.
Who is, she's the baby, and she's the smartest among us, but she can be the dumbest among us. And I say that with love, Jamie.
I hope she's listening.
I hope so too. Oh no, all my siblings. Listen, there's nothing I've said on this podcast that I have not said to the people.
We are sending an email blast to your entire family.
That's cool.
NicholsonFamily@gmail.com.
Yeah, do it, man.
I
Do it. They're all on Insta. We got a family Insta.
Look at that.
I have to ask you about this. Anybody who's listening to this would want to know this, so I have to ask this.
Oh boy.
The status of Heavy Lights is clearly, probably out there wandering, whatever you want it to be. But is there a position that Heavy Lights is in where you might play a show, or you might write together again or something? Can you just talk about all of that?
I can tell you that the band group text thread remains strong.
So you guys like each other still?
Oh man, I think that again, I spoke about it earlier. Maybe one of the reasons it's so difficult to come back and like put all that energy back into it is like, if I'm not with my guys, like why would I want to do it? That's no shade on other musicians.
Yeah.
But you also said that there's going to be some type of demo release or some
we're going to release these tracks. Yeah,
so please talk about that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
sure.
If that's out there, everybody has to know.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
So 2 of the 3 songs we debuted tonight are from a recording session we did with Kenny Eaton at Mystery Ton Studios.
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the show.
And shout out to
and
my
all
dude, Kenny
of them
Eaton.
played in like on these songs.
Yeah. 2 of the 3 we're debuting tonight, and then there's a third one that we're going to release as well. That was actually originally an Old Liner song that we converted into a Heavy Light song.
Look at Isn't the Frankenstein
it's
fun?
It's like my Let's Get It On.
Do you want to play a show?
Yeah,
does Heavy Lights want to play a show?
So therein lies.
Because if you want to play a show, I know
so
somebody who puts on shows.
Currently,
be that guy.
Currently, we have Derek living in Philadelphia.
I got a train ticket for him. It's right here.
And Brian living in Chicago.
I got a train ticket.
Chicago.
That pizza sucks, by the way.
I mean,
does it suck, or is it just too much for you?
Probably
the worst
too
pizza
much.
I had is still good.
Yeah.
Coffee, pizza.
Oh, that's good.
And,
okay. All right.
Yeah. So I'll never rule out the possibility. We've certainly talked about it.
Do you want to do it though? Do you want to? I'm asking as
You're
a
interrupting.
person.
You're interrupting.
I want to.
Fuck you.
If it.
do you want to play that show?
Confession.
Here we go.
Playing live was never my favorite part.
I knew that.
You did know that.
So okay, so the and obviously everybody at Caffeinola listens to this podcast, but like the Caffeinola residency was the last thing I remember Heavy Lights really doing.
Oh, you mean when we did that David Bowie night,
dude?
When we did that '90s night. Those are fun times.
Fun times. Yeah,
those are fun times. The Bowie night was
special.
Sam Whalen, I love you.
Special.
Adrian,
special,
Alyssa,
special. I got with
everyone
Adrian
who
the
came
other
up there
Ooh,
and did that
man.
with us. That was just
and
Austin
Adrian,
Knuckles, Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody you're talking about says the same exact thing that you're
that
saying.
They enjoyed that.
Yeah,
night.
that was the most amazing thing.
I mean, you're talking about one of the all-time greatest artists and one of the most influential artists for so many of us.
Mm-hmm.
To pass, and then to this is where I like the internet, is that we were able to be like, we got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do this, and we have to do it quick, and we've got to put it out there that we're doing it quick.
Yep.
Having to this moment, I'll tell you my favorite.
Dude, you
moment.
have such a big smile.
Well,
dude,
I
was thinking the same
so many
thing.
good memories from that night.
Yeah.
I remember my buddy Justin coming up to me afterwards and being like, we did 5 years, the opening track from Ziggy, and he was like, you made me cry. And I was like, dude, I cried.
Yeah.
And then Sam came up and I but want that song that can make me break down and cry. He just nailed it, and just like Young Americans was meant to be sang by David Bowie but covered by Sam Whalen.
Hell yeah.
That's it. That's the truth, though.
An eternal
That's the
love
truth.
for Samuel Whalen.
Yes.
I see him now, and I've always loved the man he was, and I'm even deeper in love with the man he's becoming, and just like never. I mean that whole crap. We talk about Silent Hill Mountains and those boys and our other affiliations to those bands from those years. But yeah, Sam coming up there, Adrian coming up there, Austin, all of that, and then just being up there with our boys. I'll never forget Derek. I love you, by the way, but Derek was not as big of a Bowie fan as the rest of us, so he had a much steeper learning curve. He didn't only have to learn how to play some of the most complicated freaking songs, but he had to learn songs he'd never heard before that were ultra complicated.
Wow.
And he was like, guys, are you sure? And we're like, yes, Derek, yes. We have to do this. But I'll tell you this, and I think if ever you get Derek on here, he would tell you that he loved it after the fact, because I think he learned like 10 different chord formations. We all did.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Like Life on Mars, when we played that, I was like, this is a full chromatic walk. And it's endless.
But he learned it.
Oh man, dude, Derek nailed it. He got to rock that guitar solo on fucking Moon Age Daydream. He was just just going to town on it, man. And that was so much fun. And then the 90s night was good too. So yeah, those
Basketball
were fun.
beats.
Those were fun times. Did you say basketball beats?
I did.
That's a whole nother
dude.
Well,
go ahead. But so you're talking so fondly about playing live though, but then you said that was your favorite part.
So I should clarify.
Yeah. Why are you fucking lying to us?
Because
you're on a podcast.
I'm a podcast. you come on here, you say what they want to hear, and then they laugh, they giggle, they smile. You're out of the way, and you're out of the crosshair. No. I should clarify. It's not that I didn't love playing live. There were certainly some moments in our performance history that were just special. Whip in last night of South by Southwest for us in 2015, best show
ever.
Cassie Mullinex was out there with us, and that was just a special trip, man.
How about playing the Weinberg stage with that?
Weinberg was really good too. I don't want to take away from that, but
No,
here's what I'm
not
getting
one
at. Here's what I'm getting at.
I was going to go to the J. Roddy thing too.
My it was never a venue that got me. It was how many new songs were in the set. Because my biggest thing was like,
okay,
when you write for your own internal therapy,
right? Yeah,
and you have to then get up there and relive whatever trauma or excitement that may not exist in your life at that time.
Most definitely,
especially if like the song that always got me was track 9 on the full length called Whirly.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
And it was a lot of people's favorites, but
record.
like, when you've moved on from that person and your heart's no longer in it, and so to sing lyrics that once felt so
passionate,
real. Like every time I just belt out that really loud high note, it was because I needed her to hear it. And she's on the other side of the globe and I need her to hear this. That's what like the feeling was. And then eventually I just wanted to hit mute. Because it's like I need to move on, and I wanted to move on, and so when you have a song that you have to play every night, I think the only song I never got bummed about playing was Exploder, which is about Chris and his wife.
I love Exploder.
Yeah,
and I do too.
Exploder. Yeah. I never got old playing, and I never got old playing Mad Minds. Those were like the only two. In
Mad
the
Minds, Mad Minds. One of
I'm here for you, babe.
We don't have to talk about that, but what I'm saying though is when you get through the thick of it and you say, I'm at the other end of being in a band, what happens then? Can you connect with those songs? This was a question I asked Zach when we were talking to him earlier, peeking behind the curtain.
Speaking of Zach Willis says hello, by the way.
Zach.
Yeah, he's on the West Coast. I called him West Coast Zach, and he laughed.
Yeah,
Special guy,
he moved out. But like, how do you
guy.
connect to those songs? How do you do that?
Well, now, because there's been so much time removed from them, it's more about, the memory of recording them with Derek in the cabin, or, whether or like maybe writing them in the living room at Mount Phillip. That was the house that we all had. Or it becomes more about the nostalgia of it, or, the first time, I remember the first time we debuted a certain song, July 21st. Of this year was the 10-year anniversary of the first Heavy Lights performance at Cafe Nola.
I thought you were going to put out a 10 anniversary release.
What's that?
I thought you were going to put out a 10-year anniversary release of something.
Well, Mad Mind's 10-year, it will be, I think, June of 2024.
We'll have you back on because we will not be a podcast by then.
No, definitely not. We'll be canceled.
So I should clarify. It's not that I didn't like performing. It's that I didn't like performing the same songs over and over again.
Right.
So the more frequently we performed,
the
less that it felt. I love playing Best Selling Show. The closing. Love that song.
Fuck. Dude, when you did that on the big stage.
Yeah, that was
you and I did a couple big stages together.
We did a couple big stages.
And when
together.
you played
a couple thousand people shows.
Yeah, really, it set the record for downtown Frederick.
Well, we didn't even talk about how Colin would never have gotten there without me. No, I'm kidding.
All right,
so
no,
so kidding.
No, that's not what I want. I'm so happy. I'm actually happy you said that. The reason why people think we're stalling is because the computer fucked up, but it is not fucked up anymore. And I did want to say this before we get out, and we're getting out right the fuck now.
That's right.
Okay.
When you set up this song, I want to say this beforehand. There is no Frederick playlist without Ryan Nicholson. There is no J. Roddy Walston playing in downtown fucking Frederick, Maryland without Ryan Nicholson. There is no 200 East without Ryan Nicholson. There is no forward movement without Ryan Nicholson. So anybody who wants to take a shit on you, they can get fucked. And they can come to me right the fuck away, because that's the goddamn truth. The things that happened, and this is I have all of these Frederick playlist bullshit nostalgia
things.
Things.
Where Ryan gets canceled.
That's right.
No. Just give me 20 seconds because we really have to get out.
Okay.
But nothing happens without Ryan Nicholson. Nothing. And absolutely Absolutely. Motherfucking absolutely. Nothing happens without Ryan Nicholson. There is a sense of ownership that you should feel. There is a sense of pride that you should feel. Because the things that happen that were very cool here only happen because of you. And I'm saying this on the record right now. You can get fucked if you don't believe me. You can get fucked if you don't believe me.
Well, I'm flattered and honored, man.
That's my speech. Fuck everybody.
But truthfully, I was following your lead. I was helping you achieve your vision, man. I was just trying to be a good friend and a good team member.
No, that's not it.
So I greatly appreciate that.
No, you took a chance on a friendship with me that lended itself to...
I can't tell you how many times. Do we want to talk about the time
No,
we
don't. We don't have time for that. But it was all true. And I will say that I really fucking mean that. Chris, I'm not trying to cut you off. There's none of that. Like, this guy deserves all of the credit. He deserves more credit than anything you deserve the credit. Yeah, you deserve credit. That's it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wildly inaccurate.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I
appreciate it.
The nice thing here is that I think everybody here realizes that everybody plays a part. And I think that's the beautiful thing about Frederick is that it's not just one person carrying a mantle. It's a troop of people doing something beautiful together. So thank you for playing your part. Thank you for playing your part, Colin. Love you, buddy.
That's so silent of you.
Silent.
Thank you.
No, you were very. You came in very.
I did. I came in hard.
You came very hot.
I'm
Shout out to Bullet Rye, and this is our sponsor for the episode. And so Ryan, we are going to be playing our last song. Tell us. You were telling us a little bit in the break. This song just kind of hit at a specific moment for not just me as a person, not just for Colin as a person, but kind of for us as look at this beggar. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
So that was the sound of a bottle opening.
Yeah, that was the sound of the butt plug being removed. So we are now here, and I'll take
none of this happens without Ryan Nicholson.
That's right.
That's the truth. That's what I believe.
Ryan,
fight me, okay? Everybody, fight me.
Didn't happen without me. I brought the whiskey.
That's right. The Rye and Nicholson. So anyway, but this was a specific moment that was dark in my life. That was dark in a lot of people's lives.
Are you sure? Really?
Dude, that was not a fun moment in 2016. So Ryan, cue this next song up.
Yeah. So the final song tonight is actually one entirely performed by me, but also with the help of some MIDI drums. So for the drummers in the room, don't be mad you got replaced. Colin has thoughts.
Chris, that's you.
No, this is actually a first take. Was originally just a demo, but in the vein of, or in the spirit of just capturing what was in my head at the moment, it just seemed like right to roll with it as it is. It was late 2016, early 2017. I'd gone through a tough breakup, and Trump had gotten elected, and just, I don't know, man. I wanted to write a song that truly sounded the way that I felt, and that people in my circle, it reflected the way, at least through my lens of what everything kind of felt like. And it was, the chorus says "on and on ad nauseum," and the meaning behind that, though it's pretty on the surface, is it just seemed like no matter what, it just kept coming. The shit, the fuckery. It's also the first song I ever used the F word.
Fuckery. Yeah. I love that. The fuckery.
And so it just man, and it still feels this way sometimes. Though I feel like we've all learned to live in this normal, of just this constant barrage of something else just hit us. And I don't know if was the world always that way, or does our attention, our ability to pay attention to the world at such great lengths contribute to that. And so this, it's more than just a song about Trump. I tell people, they're like, "Oh man, Trump did." And I'm like, no, hang on, stop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons that brought that on that need to be dissected and looked at objectively without any emotion if we're gonna solve the problem.
Right.
So it just, again, and I think some of the best songs people ever create in their careers will sound the way that you can tell they feel. Which is hard, right?
Right.
I'm a diehard McCartney fan, but if you mean to tell me that fucker was that happy all the time,
no.
I'm just like, I get it. You love Linda, but like, come on.
Yeah, but there's some deep sadness there, though.
Yeah,
you know?
so that's like when I hear like John Lennon, I'm like, that checks out, man. Or that's why, again, I'm a massive Radiohead fan, and I'm just like, man, I get it. That sounds like the world feels sometimes. So, final song, Overtones.
And so, Ryan, we're kind of at a spot now where it's like Heavy Lights isn't actively doing anything, but is there any place where people can find music for you, or is there,
Well, so the tracks played tonight, as well as an additional one, should be up here shortly for people to stream, and it'll be on Spotify and all those. Our Facebook hasn't been updated probably since 2016. Our Instagram, same, but it's like, here's the thing, we've all aged very well.
Yes, right.
Fine
wine.
We all look
just
as young as we always did.
Uh-huh.
So if you see us on the streets, same guys.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows what the future holds for Heavy Lights? I mean, an immense amount of love exists between us all. I mean, we still regularly rag on Brian, which was like kind of our thing. Although Brian's the sweetest of all of us.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard like to rag on him, but then you know him and you're like,
Well, Brian also has like a really good sense of being like, yeah, fuck me, kind of, he's a huge fan of Coldplay's Clock, so Derek's been learning it just so he can just send him. Actually, that's a joke. Brian hates that song. But Derek sent him a video over the weekend of Derek learning to play the endless riff.
Yeah.
And Brian's just like, wow.
Ah, so good.
So yeah, we keep in touch. I mean, obviously, Chris and I see Chris every day. I probably talk to Chris 6 to 7 days out of the week sometimes.
Yeah.
Chris is a father now.
Sure.
So you guys probably could have a whole dad cast.
Talk about diapers and stuff,
I do think we should bring him on.
Oh, dude, you can call it the bodcast for like dad bods.
Yes, dude. I've gotten more pear-shaped as my life has gone on. All right, so
pear-shapery. I don't know.
All right, so here we go. So
edit that one out.
This song is Overtones, and it's by you, Ryan Nicholson. Ryan, thanks for coming on. It's been a treat for people that want to know about Heavy Lights. Check out Heavy Lights on the internet. Colin, final words?
Yeah, if I can, really. And I won't overstate this because I
have done it already.
Come on, man.
I love you.
Did I yell a lot?
Yeah, you did. You were almost like standing up. You were levitating a little bit. That's fine. Right. It was nice.
You're the only drummer who I would let leave his throne. How about that?
Whoa. I believe
I'm just kidding.
I love Ryan.
I love you too, guys. I love you both, man. I'm really grateful for this, and I hope everyone enjoys the music and enjoys this. So, sign off. Overtones, now under skin. Foundations thin. Speaking of our rarest forms, taking names while breaking norms, and so it goes on and on ad nauseum, on and on ad nauseum. Squandering that latest line, taking its sweet fucking
Be Better podcast is produced live from the Could Be Better studios that are definitely not a bedroom in Frederick, Maryland.
Check out our website, www.couldbebettermeh.com, for links to our social media, as well as a calendar of events and our contact information for those interested in guesting or supporting the Could Be Better movement.
Sure, whatever the hell that is. If you'd like what you hear, though, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, or however you're listening to this right now. And don't hesitate to leave us a 5-star review because, believe it or not, it actually really helps.
Tune in every Thursday for a new episode where we...
Okay, that's enough. We've been talking for way too long.
Okay. I'm Chris Perry.
And I'm Colin McGuire, and we are out of time. So for now, remember, as always, everybody, this could be better.